Welcome back to Joyfully at Home. Today we're going to make something that is a little bit of an old-fashioned classic. A lot of people love just plain, simple chocolate chip cookies, and that's what we're going to do today. They're kind of famous for me because they always come out nice and soft and chewy. And there's a couple little differences between, say, the way I make a chocolate chip cookie and maybe your typical Toll House recipe. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make chocolate chip cookies today, and you'll see some of the differences. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with a full stick of butter. And you'll see that this butter is essentially melted butter, but it's also melted and cooled, and that's one of the biggest tips that I have if you want to have a nice chewy cookie that has a lot of flavor. You melt your butter, but you do not use your butter when it's hot and it's melted, because if your sugar also melts, then you're going to come out with a very flat and greasy cookie. You want to cool that melted butter to about room temperature so it's starting to thicken a little bit and not be hot, because you don't want your brown sugar to melt in that butter. You want it to mix together but not melt. So next you're going to add a cup of firmly packed brown sugar, and you're going to go ahead and mix those two together. Okay, as you can see, your brown sugar is now moist but not melted. That's the exact kind of texture you're going to want for these. You'll see your brown sugar is mixed into the butter nicely, and it's nice and moist, but your sugars have not melted, and you definitely don't want your sugar to be melted. That's what makes for this really chewy cookie. Next, we're going to add one large egg. The whole egg goes right in there, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cream that together with our sugar and our butter. And now you're going to see with your egg incorporated, you get a nice creamy cookie batter texture. And that's exactly how you're going to want it to look. Again, your sugars are not melted. They're just creamed down into that melted butter. Next, we're going to add 2 cups of flour. And with this flour, we don't scoop our flour. We go ahead and spoon our flour into our cup and level it off so it's spooned in lightly, so you're not getting too much flour into your cookie. You'll add your flour right into that. You'll add a half a teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of baking powder. Again, another trick to keep your cookies from flattening out, you add a half a teaspoon of each. Then I add an entire teaspoon of salt. With that teaspoon of salt, it adds just the right amount of saltiness that goes perfectly with the chocolate. Then we add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You can use regular vanilla extract or you can use vanilla bean paste. Both are perfect in this recipe. So we want to mix all our dry now into our creamed sugar, egg, and butter. And now you'll see that your cookie dough is a nice, soft cookie dough, nice texture. It's got a great texture to pack. And this is a perfect texture now to put your chocolate chips in. So now to our cookie batter, we're going to go ahead and add an entire bag, approximately 2 to 2.5 cups of mini chocolate chips. And you can use regular size chocolate chips. It's entirely up to you. Sometimes I like to use the minis because it puts more chocolate in every little space of the cookie. So we're just going to simply mix those in and then our cookie batter will be all set and ready to chill. Now you can see that your cookie dough is all set, all ready. Now the next big tip for this is to chill your cookie dough for at least 24 hours. So it gets a nice chill on it. And then we'll just use a cookie scoop it out in a regular size chocolate chip cookies, and we'll be all set. This, you can see there's a lot of chocolate chips in this, and it gives a nice texture to the chocolate chip cookie. So every little part of your chocolate chip cookie will be filled with little bites of chocolate. So we'll go ahead and chill this for 24 hours, and then we'll make our cookies. So now that our cookie dough is completely chilled, and we've chilled it for 24 hours, we are ready to start scooping out our cookies. Your cookie dough will be nice and stiff, so you press it right good into your cookie scoop and just put it on your pan. You'll get anywhere between 12 to 16 cookies per pan. You'll want them to be about 2 inches or so apart, and you want your cookie sheet to be ungreased for sure. You never want to grease your cookie sheet when you're making chocolate chip cookies because that will cause them to spread. But with this being chilled nicely, you can put them about that far apart, which is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. And just fill your pan this way, and then we will bake these for about 8 to 10 minutes maximum. Never want to go too long on a chocolate chip cookie because that's when you're going to get your crispy cookies. So you'll just continue like this until you fill your entire pan, and then you'll bake, as I say, for 8 to 10 minutes at 325. Now that you have your cookie sheet completely full, just before we put them in the oven, I like to take a little bit of coarse sea salt and just barely sprinkle the tops of your cookie dough with your sea salt. It gives them a little extra something. Salt and chocolate is a wonderful complement together. And so just sprinkle a little bit of coarse sea salt on the tops of the cookies before they go in the oven, and then that'll bake right to the tops of your cookies. It really brings them up a little bit. Now you'll see the finished product. This is exactly what your cookies will look like when they come out. And as you can see, the edges are set nicely, but they still look a little soft, a little squishy in the center, and that's perfect. But they'll be definitely set on the edges, but a little soft in the center. Now what you'll do from here is let them cool for at least a minute on the pan, and then you can take them off and put them on a cooling rack, or if you're like me, I have a specific towel that I use for cookies, and I cool them right on my cooling towel, and then they'll be fresh and ready cookies whenever you want them.